Let me now show you another tool. If you remember, the tools in Kali are listed under the Applications menu. And in Applications, the tools are grouped by category: information gathering, vulnerability analysis, and so on. In the information gathering, we've already seen the NetDiscover tool and the Nmap tool. Now we're going to have a look at the ZenMap tool. You could either start it from the graphical menu or you can start it from the command line. ZenMap is basically Nmap's sister or brother, which is the graphical Nmap really. Once you start it, all you need to do is type in the IP address and then it automatically populates the command that is going to run. And as you can see here, this is a very similar command to the one that we ran earlier on the command interface. The cool thing here though is that from this drop-down menu, you can change the options. So if I choose the intent scan all TCP ports, notice what happens on the left-hand side. It automatically populates the command to scan all ports from 1 to 65535. It's still at timing 4, and the -A option that we talked about, and the -V option that we also talked about. And as you can see here, there are multiple different options that you can pick and choose from. So I'm going to remove the full port range from here, just to keep it quick because we've already seen the scan output. And I'm going to hit scan. Now notice the difference. Because I'm not scanning every single TCP port, Nmap in this case scans 1000 ports only. 1000 ports from more than 65,000 ports. So that's a big difference. However, you might not notice a big difference in the results because these are the most common 1000 ports. So it's very likely that the machine that we're targeting will have the services running on it belonging to one of these 1000 ports. Now that the port scan is done, again, Nmap is doing the additional scans, the script scanning, the vulnerability scanning, and so on, which we talk about in more detail in the advanced courses, and the scan is complete. You notice here how much faster this scan was. Now the nice thing about ZenMap is that visually it's much more comfortable. You can immediately see here that the ports open are colored in green. If we had more than a host to scan, on this left side, we can group the output by the operating system or by the IP addresses. On the right hand side, we have multiple tabs that we can go through, and that makes things much easier to look at. If we click on the ports tab, we can see immediately in a very beautiful summary all the ports that are open. And this is very important information to us because your job as an ethical hacker or as a penetration tester, your job is to investigate each and every single one of these ports and the services running behind them to see if there's any vulnerabilities that are existing and then to try and exploit these vulnerabilities. So this gives us a very nice summary or sort of a checklist of what ports exist on the target machine. And as we progress throughout these videos, you're going to be seeing how we work our way through these ports. Not all of them, obviously, because that will be an entire 5-hour course on its own. However, sequentially, I'm going to pick and choose some of these ports and show you how to use them to break into the target machine. And this is the tab that shows you the network topology that you're scanning, or how the network that you're scanning is organized or designed. And because here we have one target, the network looks fairly simple. So this is me, the local host, and immediately connected to me is the target machine. Then you have the host details, which is a very high level summary of the host. So you can see here that the host is up. It has 23 open ports. This is the operating system that got detected and how it got detected. Again, these are things that we talk about in more advanced courses, so don't worry too much about that for now. And lastly, we have the summary of the scan or the command that we did to run the scan. And by the way, if you want, you can save the scan, obviously, so you can come back to it later anytime you want. Now that we have the detailed scan output, we can start to target the services running on the machine. In the next video, we're going to be hacking our first service and getting access to our target.